Hey traders, welcome to another edition of the Crypto Lab with Alex, featured by Trading Analysis. Welcome. I hope you are all well and sound. As every week, lots of things to talk about in the crypto world and in the macro world. So we will go and we will revisit a little bit what's going on with the main macro themes and also dive into crypto space and what has been going on lately, and we are going to see some charts as we do every week. So if you are looking this in a live stream, type in your comments or maybe some chart request for some crypto that we might look afterwards when we finish these two segments as we always do. So let's start and let's revisit what's going on, a little bit of the news and a little bit in the macro space. So let me just give you a bigger outlook of this. So I'm looking this coin news. I think they're pretty good. So there is a couple of news with this latest developments regarding the SEC chairman into the crypto regulation. We also have seen the Congress infrastructure bill, lots of things about the crypto tax over there. We had also a London Ethereum upgrade. It's already passed, I think, 25 minutes ago. So most of the news are revolving around these latest regulations, Tether as well. And there has been a few news. We have seen also, we knew this, it's going to happen. JP Morgan launches in-house Bitcoin fund for wealthy clients. So they're investment banks. So of course, they want to capture that flows if the crypto space starts to move again. And also we have seen the news, which is a little bit older news, but I want to dive in a little bit just because of a clarification. So in Germany, according to the latest law, they allowed around 1.8 trillion euro investment funds to um, go into cryptos, 20% of their holdings, which makes a complete around 415 billion. So this is not a big amount in this world, but it is not also insignificant. Germans are pretty, I would say, not big risk takers, so I don't expect these funds to have an immediate exposure to cryptos. Maybe they will start with 1 or maximum to 5%, which decreases that amount. So I have seen some people expected that this will lift up the market greatly on the upside, but if you count 5% of this, it's not really a big money, and I don't think they will go all in. So I see them deploying these funds potentially up to 5 to 8% maximum in the next year, but gradually. So I don't think it will play such an effect that is expected, especially when you know the nature of the German investors, which are pretty much relatively risk conservative, especially in the crypto assets when the things are still not regulated that much. And of course, the volatility. So I think they will choose their entries very carefully and they will increase their exposure little by little over time. So I don't expect this to be such a huge boost on the upside as this was expected. Let's also look. I just want to make one notification. So I've been um, Todd and I was a guest with I think a couple of months ago on this crypto banter show regarding the Elliott wave and movement on the Bitcoin and Ren is the guy who is running this, but I've been um, asked to talk with some guys. I first didn't recognize it was a potential scheme. So be aware of that. They asked, I deleted the previous chat, but They ask for some funds investing in a secret crypto new project. So be aware of this type of scams and check. As you can see, these scammers has a different name after the monkey sign. So be aware of that. They try to scam me around a new crypto project and investments. Of course, they could, if they want to investigate, they could see I'm in a crypto space. So I busted this pretty much quickly. So just a warning: be aware of different type of scams if you are in the Twitter carrying the um, as you can see, and portray the persons that they are not behind their Twitter handle. Just a warning, because it happened to me first time, honestly. So let's go and look a little bit of macro scene. One of the charts that it is looked for, I think most in the world right now is this 10-year yield. So we are still holding these support levels. We have seen some data yesterday regarding the ADP report. We have a very important NFP or non-farm payroll report regarding unemployment figures in the US on Friday. So ADP is a private sector, and it came pretty much lower than it was expected. It was expected around 650K. It came around 300K. And that is showing a little bit of setback because the Fed narrative was actually that they're going to look for the latest jobs report, and if they act strong, they will probably enter into a tapering of the assets and maybe even announce some gradual small interest rate hikes. We are going to see that tomorrow, and I think it's going to be one of the crucial reports, especially this one and the next one regarding the Fed orientation towards the current policy. Okay, so pay attention on that. If we develop a five-way move and break this very key important support levels, although the RSI on daily here is very low, we might even anchor the C wave and continue to monitor these rates even moving lower, or they might turn in something complex, this being an ABC for W, some type of an X wave, and then and maybe in the beginning of 2022, we might see a move up in the other direction, and that will make this correction most probably to be a complex one. So basically, this will be a two zigzags connected by the X wave, and then we might see this Y wave developing on the upside. But before that, in the 2021, we will see a more downside levels played out. Situation in Germany or in Europe is pretty much the same. I know that you tracked my outlook on this 10-year German Bund. So I've been very vocal about this potential sideways consolidation. This is just inverted of yields in Europe because the wave development here is a little bit more clearer. So that's why I take it as a proxy. So I still hold the view this will be some type of a sideways consolidation and potentially later we might fall again into this deflationary scenario moving further in the price of bonds on the upside and a move of yields lower, even in negative territory. So we will see how that will unfold. It will definitely, if I'm right, take a couple of more months, even a whole year, this triangle to develop. Okay, so let's look a little bit of dollar index just to see where is one of the reserve currency. So dollar index is a basket of currencies against the US dollar. We have been looking for a five-wave move with a small truncation, 5 waves up, and now we are looking a subsequent move lower as some type of a correction, and then a further continuation on the upside. So we think that dollar index will pretty much move after this correction plays out further until the end of the year, possibly and reaching some higher levels. This is also possible to morph into more complex pattern, but let's go one wave at a time. So for now, we are looking this move lower as a potential wave A of B. So it will have 3 waves, down in A, up in B, down in C, towards this 90 handle potentially, or it can morph into some type of a triangle for a B wave and then continue on the upside. So the chart is developing pretty much nicely as we track it for the last couple of weeks. And it's going by the Elliott wave script, so we don't have intention to change this outlook for now. Let's look a little bit also of a gold market. And gold is pretty much sideways, going nowhere. So whatever you make of the gold move from these lows, either this being 1, 2, and this is a big wave 3 already, we are in some type of a larger degree wave 4 or a minor degree. After this consolidation, potential move on the upside will be very possible, because this for now does not display an impulsive structure to the downside. So I'm looking for some type of a correction, either a complex or even a triangle, lasting until the end of 2021, and then potentially develop an impulsive indication. We might further continue to the upside above 2000. So this doesn't look bullish for now, guys. As you can see, we had some type of a 3-way move on the downside, and then also this is a 3-way move. When you go inside of it, you cannot count perfect 5-wave impulsive move. And moreover, from these highs, you have a 5-way move lower, which indicates potentially either we're going to go sideways and then drop a little bit more, or we are going to see a big kind of a triangulation here, which will take more time to develop. So this will be some type of a wave A, up in B, C, D, and E. So timing is around January, February, around 2022, or let's say end of 2021 for this to develop. I think it's going to be a little bit more directional down to these levels, but we will see. I mean, we don't know that in this instance, and we track it regularly for our members in the Premier, in the stock service that we have in trading analysis, led by Todd, Bennett, and Terry. So we do get a lot of questions regarding gold and silver, but we still think, looking at the pattern, this is still not ready. And for now, I don't think there is a need to have an exposure while this develops a little bit more and matures. So let's okay, so that's regarding gold. So let's skip to the cryptos, and I do this macro just that we see the overall environment. There is some correlation between the macro and the cryptos, especially in the stock market. I will not dive into the stock market today. You can look that on our Wednesday live show on Todd Gordon's YouTube channel, where you can find the latest update on the stock market. And stocks have some really challenging levels ahead. So I also, as I said, don't know how cryptos will behave when the stocks potentially starts to move down in some type of a corrective pullback in the next couple of months. So we are tracking that as well. So I like to get a feel regarding what is doing dollar, what is doing gold, yields. These are all important factors in a global assets market. So I think it's a quite important also, although you are maybe interested in crypto, to also look what is going on there. So let's go and see the crypto space. So let me just start with our usual outlook. So this is the path that we are following so far. And as you know, when you look these bigger time frames, nothing changes week to week basis that much. So we are still looking this as a potential wave 1 down in 2 and developed wave 3. So we look these two things as a corrective pullbacks, potentially down to 20K, 22K, 38% is the 22K. And I will go a little bit more inside of these developments. This also, there is a few potential things that can happen here. If you have a 5-wave development, this also can morph into some type of a triangle. There is also a possibility. So we go sideways sometimes, then we drop a little bit down to these levels, and then we form an impulsive move further on the upside. Definitely, the current move down will be one of the factors that we are going to look very much. So if this develops into full 5-wave swing, testing these support levels here, I think that a move down in Bitcoin will be basically hammered. So this will be something along these lines. So we will have a 5-way move down to this 30K again, a pullback, and then a continuation towards this level. If we develop a triangle, same thing, it will just go a little bit more sideways. This will be a 3-way move to the downside, 3-way move to the upside, and then we will drop. And usually after these intermediary levels of triangles, we drop fastly and then we reverse. So I will time that in this scenario around November, December 2021. And also you have a 200 moving average, as you can see here on a daily level, capping this move on the upside. We reached this resistance zones, as you can see. So this resistance zone is very clear as its support zone. So basically we are still trading in a range. So I think Bitcoin should be watched in the next couple of days and actually see what is going on here. Is this going to develop in a 3-wave mode or a 5-wave mode to the downside, which I think it's going to be very telling for the possible future outlook for the Bitcoin. We also have a bullish case. I don't want to be caught, but as I explain and said every time, it's going to be my secondary one. So I'm a little bit more biased towards a bearish case, looking at the stocks and different things, what's going on with the crypto regulations and all of the other stuff. This is a bullish scenario which actually portrays and changes several things. We have to lift up this wave 3, which we looked here in a green. So we have to change a degree and have a higher target, which will be 2618, which will be much above 100K. But this really needs to pass these resistance levels and also needs to pass this 200 moving average and then form some type of an impulsive move on the upside, which I will then try to observe as something more bullish on the upside, forming into the next cycle of the price movement on the upside in a 5-wave sequence. Okay, so usually when you have the lesser degree corrections, they might portray and be a flats, so that's nothing wrong about that. But looking some of the macro themes and also looking some other technicals, I'm biased a little bit towards more these levels, but we are in a neutral zone, as I said last time. So I'm kind of switching back and forth, trying to see what it's going to develop on this front and actually be ready to have my bias turned if I see a clear 5-way move and some type of a confirmation, and then the pullback for me will be a viable hold for the next potential move on the upside. So the same thing is in Ether. Ether is on my primary wave count still the same. 200 is a little bit different. It evolves around here, as you can see. This also can be structured as some type of a flat correction. There is 2 distinctive resistance levels, so I'm going to look very carefully from here or a little bit more upside what the Ether is going to do. And also on a flat corrective pullback, there is a small invalidation here in a triangle, so I would not like to portray it as a triangle because we have a C wave move lower than this one, so this cannot be considered to be a triangle, more something like an ABC, X, ABC, more in a complex nature, and then we need to see some type of a developments also in a larger degree 5-wave move on the upside and then a corrective pullback to consider this actually to be a lesser degree fourth wave for this higher degree wave 5. So I'm still going to pursue that, and you know, we also has been very vocal regarding this. It seems that something will happen on this front, and it's already happening. We portrayed this a couple of weeks ago as a potential triangle in Ethereum Bitcoin cross, and we are breaking out of this triangle in a five-wave manner, which probably will actually suggest that we might continue higher, and that might mean either Ether will trade a little bit lower to sideways, if not higher, while the Bitcoin is dropping, or vice versa. And then we have to address at this point this Bitcoin dominance chart, where we also look this as a potential fourth wave high, which is actually now almost confirmed. We have a nice five-wave move to the downside, which means actually, especially Ether and some other altcoins are going a little bit more advanced than a Bitcoin, as you can see, which is steadily dropping from this three-wave pullback. So we can, I think, already hammer this wave 4 and then kind of try to see this five-wave sequence down to these levels around 37, 39, which I think it's going to complete all of this potential flat, from where Bitcoin should start to continue more aggressive advance on the upside. So this develops pretty much according to the Elliott wave script, and for now it's going well. This is clearly a three-way move. There is nothing impulsive in this feature. We are trading within the corrective channel, wave A, triangle B, up in C, and now we are seeing almost we are going to test this and potentially break after a correction further to the downside, informing of a five-way move. So we are going to go and look a little bit of other cryptos. Also, if you like to see our work, you can go to Trading Analysis website. We have a stocks and crypto service. Cryptos has a lot of features that we offer to our clients. So if you like to check us out, you can have a trial and see what we offer. There is lots of features with Discord, cryptocurrency repository, members webinar, crypto streams, crypto trade desk, and all of the other stuff that we do at Trading Analysis. Okay, so let me go and look some other cryptos just to portray you a picture that I'm seeing. So let me switch to some of the DeFi finance space, which was moving on the upside, as we see Anchor, or sorry, Aave. So this is Aave. So from the higher perspective, as you can see, we are counting this as a five-way move, which is relatively clear. But do we have a final low here, and should we move this wave to here? I will still not do that because I don't see a clear five-wave development. I agree that Aave has a pretty big potential on the upside, but I just don't see it to be involved yet. I'm not in a business of catching lows. Okay, I want to have a longer term exposure and capturing majority of this possible wave 3 on the upside. So I'm comfortable to wait a little bit of confirmation. We are still kind of a trading in a sideways environment, and then we have an ABC pullback, which is still reaching this 437 levels. And if we start to push lower from that level, I think we will actually reach this secondary target down. Because from the Elliott wave perspective, this is a little bit of a neutral land with a bias for lower levels. Okay, when you see a three-way move down, three-way move up, you have to suspect still that this is a bearish bias, because you don't see clearly a five-wave development some around reaching around these highs or above, then a pullback, which is viable for a further advance. And I will look ADA for you. I've received a lot of requests for ADA. So ADA is still in a sideways consolidation, and the same thing as AVE. I clearly identify this as a fourth wave, so I think that ADA has a very bright future, and I want to buy it. So I see a big potential on the upside on ADA, but still I don't see a break of these levels, and more or less I see some of the older technical traders are considering this to be a big head and shoulder. Here, as you can see, you know that pattern. Probably you have heard it because it's a kind of an old technical. Um, Basically, you can incorporate that into Elliott wave, but I'm just um, kind of signaling this also that some of the guys which has been done pretty good work with um, kind of old technical style, I would say see this as a potential head and shoulder and a break to the downside. I don't use that much as a reliable pattern, so I lean more on the Elliott wave world, and from that perspective, we are still, as you can see, trading sideways, and it is not very reasonable from this perspective to look this as a still as a potential breakout. Okay, so we have been moving, as you can see, with this late fifth wave, pretty much in this consolidation overall, as you can see. So to gain a little bit more of a I will say confirmation, you have to be patient a little bit more. I think if you have a longer term exposure to ADA, there is a sense from the Elliott wave perspective that you dollar cost average with a very small amount of your capital, and then increase when you have a correction. So depends, are you a swing trader, investor? So all depends on which side, because the risk is changes drastically when you see this kind of a structure. So I'm pretty much sure from my end that this is a fourth wave. I'm just waiting patiently to see are these upper resistance levels are going to break? Are we going to form some type of a five-way move, and then this resistance will act as a support? It will give me a possibility to make a nice entry and then a further move on the upside, which is pretty much huge. I mean, in this type of thing, even if we move this way forward, we are going to go around 15, 16. First target is 7, secondary is 16. So there is a lot of upside. We are trading at what, 134. So this is a log scale. So I don't think I should be pressed and in a hurry regarding this. I'm not a low or high picker. That game is a very dangerous one. So I would like to look this more on a swing to longer term investing basis, because I think ADA is a very good project, and I think it's going to be very viable in the future. Okay, so let me look who is in the room. Falcon Trader online courses, one-on-one session. Hello, Falcon, what's up? Mo, hey Mo, Wilson Chong, hey Wilson, what's up? I'm just looking your text here. So Chiril says, hi Alex, one person who predicted this crazy rally and price of BTC backs in October was just looking at the CME call and puts and strikes. I remember seeing they were betting on a 40 and 60K. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, it is always good to look what the option market is pricing. Last time they had been pricing around 75 to 85K. So we went up to 64K, so they missed. Yeah, I mean, sometimes market is pricing it correctly, sometimes not. Depends on the events that happen. I mean, if you see some new regulation, who can predict that? And if you look into some these infrastructure bills, if the crypto tax goes into it, it will go under a very big scrutiny regarding the laws. So who guarantees that the crypto market will not suddenly dive towards this level? So we don't know that yet. I don't know on what account, maybe on a best case scenario, they're pricing that level. So we will see. I mean, I don't want to follow what other people do. I look some of the work that other people do, let me be clear, because first I know them. We are in a conversation and I like their work. But I usually hold to my own work unless I see or somebody else point me out that I'm mistaken from the methodology perspective. And of course, I have to be humble enough to correct that. So it is good to look, but as long as you have your own opinion, your own outlook, it is not very wise to follow and kind of jump around what other people does, at least in my experience. So I try to hold my own view and keep it. As you can see, as I was very conservative on the move on the upside a couple of months ago, when everybody was shouting 100 and 200K, I stayed faithful to my methodology. I missed high about much less margin than they did. So I'm going to keep this scenario until I'm proven differently. And for now, nothing is telling me here that yet I'm wrong on this outlook. Okay. Let me just see your requests. So Mo asks Mina protocol. I didn't heard about this one, so let's look Mina protocol. Okay, we'll have to use a different chart package. I will just glare charts for you. Mina. Let's see what a Mina is saying. Mina protocol US dollar. ABC to the downside. We didn't get here on the upside. It looks a long time ago. I was looking at this. It was wrong. Let me see what it's going on. Well, I mean, it's still a three-way move. As you can look, this is a daily, so let's go on a 4-hour. So after this type of a movement down, we still don't see a 5-way move development. So as you know, I tend to look for a confirmation because the probability is much bigger if you want to trade this for a longer time frame. So at least I need to see this third wave develop to consider trading this on a fourth wave pullback. Okay. So for now, if we put some fib ratios here, and if we look how this is actually this move developing on the upside after this correction, so let's measure this. If it is a measured move, there is also what I don't pretty much like to see. I like to see, we see this extension towards this 1618. Okay, so we passed equality, but we moved down. So I need this protocol to start moving further on the upside after some type of consolidation without continuing downside, because the wave count invalidation of the lesser degree will be actually here. So we don't want to see this price goes and break these levels, because then the bullish outlook will be nullified. So if I were looking from this perspective, I will say for now, this might develop into a 5-way move to the upper levels, and then you can consider for a longer term, maybe to pick up the fourth wave or some form of the fourth wave before we see a larger correction and potential continuation further. So for now, that will be my take. So we also see a base channel nicely holding here. So let me just see how the base channel goes. So yeah, we went a little bit more on the downside, but we are kind of holding this support. So I would not like to see more downside, definitely. I would like to see more sideways pattern or some impulsive advance. If we continue to the downside, this will definitely look as a three-way move with a possible break further lower or somewhere to this secondary support, which you can see here. Okay, so this will be the next support zone. Okay. Okay, so Rich, what's up, Rich? Rich wants to see alpha. Okay, let's see alpha for Rich. Um, which alpha? It's Alpha Finance Lab or Alpha something, or is this is the alpha? Okay, so in this case, we were looking for a move down in A, up in B. For now, we have to consider this was a three-way move and some type of a five-way pullback. So there is a two options here. I think that the five-way move on the upside is done. We should look this in a two perspectives. Okay, so this is can be a WXY. So we go a little bit lower, and this will be the low zone. So let's go to the daily and see how this behaves. And yes, we are pretty much up in the RSI. So I will consider this to be still a three-way move. So this will be an ABC. There is a corrective channel. So usually X wave are a bull or a bear trap. So there is a three-way move, which potentially can signify that this was an end, but you need to see clearly a five-way move and a pullback for the further continuation. Until you only see a three-wave without the breakout, you can consider this to be a connector, and then you can consider another three-way move down. So if that happens, this will be the next support levels around here. If we break on the upside, it's very clear that this will become a 1-2 up in 3, 4, and 5, and this will be a first wave of the third wave on the upside. So there will be a lot of possible advance available, but here we are in the no man's land. Okay, I know everybody likes to pick bottoms, and but that's very rare event, guys. It's merely a luck. I mean, you can lose more of a momentum on a higher time frames to pick up a bottom than this type of RSI or MACD or other available indicators, or if you have some methodology. I usually not tend to pick this up in these early stages for the longer term investment. Hey Andre, compound, yeah, okay, we will look compound. Brandon, can you make the charts bigger and full screen? I hope now it's okay. Kevin, what's up, Kevin, in Thailand? Where are you gonna come back, Kevin? To the trading analysis family. Hey Todd, what's up in Singapore? Smash the like button. Thanks, Todd, one of our very, very cool members located in Singapore. AMF, Alex, appreciate the analysis on BTC and Ethereum. What you can think about cake? Okay, let's look cake. Pancake swap. Yeah, I've been looking this in a bullish price action. As you can see, this develops nicely in this consolidation, but I would say we might have a little bit more downside. I don't see a five-wave development. Moreover, I see a five-wave development to the downside. So this is a very particular situation. If we don't see some clear breakout, and we have only three waves here, so this indicates this is a triangle, possible triangle, or ABC x ABC. So from this area, I will expect this pancake to go lower, hitting this secondary support, as you can see RSI. And when you see this, I think then correction will be finished, and this will be ready to continue on the upside. Okay, so there is a wave 1 and 2, very nice development. In the lesser degree, wave 3. We tend to compare these two corrections. Usually fourth wave is bigger, which is a very nicely depicted in this case. So I think after this consolidation, around 5, 6, 7, it will be a possible lows there for a possible continuation. So this is clearly a corrective consolidation. So I will not be actually buying this move on the upside because I think it's a bull trap. So not a trap, but kind of a bait for traders which does not have any information. Okay, sometimes I'm wrong. Nothing in that perspective, but I tend to follow a methodology very strictly and now I see this only as a sideway. Okay, so I cannot tell you these guys that this is bullish, especially when I see this resembles clearly a five-way move to the downside. Okay. Okay, Kevin, I'm out on the farm during this COVID break. Oh, great. XRP, yeah, XRP. Let's look XRP. XRP, guys. Let's look XRP. Yeah, XRP is still, in my book, in some type of a corrective mode. I don't see a five-wave development. I still look XRP. I've been following the case. Case is still not over. So I still look, this is a very ugly chart in my opinion. Five waves up, some type of a pullback. I don't even know where I'm gonna place this. It might be this be a first wave and this second one. And then we have a five-wave move, as you can see in wave 3. And should we pair this and put here this wave 4? But we still didn't develop a five-wave move here. Okay, it's only a three-wave move. So I will say this is a flat, reaching a little bit lower levels, and then potentially move on the upside, or a triangle. So look this RSI, if it comes down here and it coincides with this fifth wave, that will be, I think, a good levels to look for. Okay, so for now I don't see advance on the upside, so I don't see a reason to be very kind of a joyful just for this small pullback on the upside. So as I said always, and I repeat that to many of my members, I'm not a low picker, so I'm gonna wait to see a confirmation and then pick up the pullback. Okay. XRP, hey Tres, a great group, yeah. I've been invited to visit one group, which is great. A couple of very, very knowledgeable guys. And I thank to our member Ujwali for having me there. It was great to be with such a knowledgeable group, and a group which is actually exploring and doesn't make much of a conclusion. Which I tend to think about that myself. I'm more in an exploration mode, using these different methods than kind of be certain in anything. Okay. Let me just scroll a little bit more regarding. So Eddie, we looked XRP. XRP. So. Let me just see if I missed any requests from you. Rune, okay. Wilson is asking for Rune. Let's look this Torchain, okay. Yeah, so Torchain is moving up from this fourth wave. It looks like it forms a five-wave move, which will be relatively beneficial for the development. We still didn't see a five-wave formation yet. So in my book, potentially this fourth wave is over. I will wait for a clear five-wave development. If we start to break lower from here, we can also consider this to be an ABC, and this is a flat in X, and have a little bit more downside and then go on the upside. But for now it looks good, but I need it to go a little bit more further and then correct, which will be a signal for potential continuation on the upside. So it looks good for now. As you can see, pattern is developing nicely. So we have a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 potentially developing. And this looks still as an unfinished impulse, but I think it should be on the list to track for now. Andre, Novak is a little upset, but this is, yeah, I mean, listen, guys, I have to comment on this. I follow Novak from the beginning of his career. I love tennis and golf. And obviously, I mean, the guy who won 2 Grand Slams, 3 Grand Slams in this year with Australia and in a COVID situation. And he was going, he didn't have to go to Olympics, but he wanted to fight for his country. I mean, it looks a little bit bad what he did on the court, but that's understandable if you put yourself in his shoes. He's a very perfectionist guy, and he was probably very pissed off of not achieving his goal, which is understandable. And I just hate this media wreckage over him, it is really unbearable. I mean, they treat these two guys like they're kind of an innocent nannies. So, I mean, we are all humans and we react, you know. So they just need to see a portrait of a kind of a nice person, you know. So, in my opinion, that's I will not comment any further. So, okay. Yeah, but he will be back for U.S. Open, so I think I hope he will take all four and basically cement this GOAT debate. Okay, so let me see. Philcoin. Yeah, I don't like this Philcoin much, guys. It uh, it looks very five-wave movish, as you can see. After this very kind of a strange move on the upside, I mean, we can compose this in a five-wave manner, but we have a five-wave move down. So this might be some. I will not consider this to be a flat, maybe, but this is too big of a difference for a flat that we look. I mean, in cryptos, all things are possible. But anyhow, I mean, if you look just this sequence and this consider a final terminal five-wave move, there is a clear five-wave move down. So I think after some correction, we might see more downside to this support. So just be careful, okay? Hey, Igor, как дела? Don't attack me with several. I like Solana very much. Okay, I will show you Solana at Atom and we will finish that. So I like Solana as a project. So let me just look for Atom. Where is the Atom? Atom is. I discussed Atom with one of our members, and Atom is looking, I think, a little bit bearish to me. Let's see, and wait the multi-wave loads up. A long-term price for Solana, it's pretty big. So, okay, so this is Atom. We have the baiting for the chart-wise. Is this a five-way move? I mean, yeah, let's say it is. I have a couple of objections on this price action. But let's have a case that this was some type of a big flat, fourth wave up, and this was a five-wave sequence. So five waves down and a consolidation. So this looks like a triangle. It's still a sideways. There is no five waves up. So I will look Atom to go back to this support as long as we trade in this sideways consolidation, okay? So around 5.4, there is some specific measurements. We look, and this is these two fib ratios when you have a triangle as an intermediary wave. And let me look Solana, and that we will wrap it up there, guys. Otherwise, we can continue indefinitely because we cover so many cryptos. Solana, where is this Solana? Yeah, Solana is starting to break towards this consolidation. So I will still treat this as a corrective pullback, either in a triangle or in a WXY. So we are still trading sideways. And one particular problem I have with the Solana, if you look at the if you consider this to be a triangle, triangles are only appear an intermediary B or X waves or in a fourth wave triangle. It cannot be in a second wave situation, okay? So we cannot consider this to be a five-wave move and then this as a triangle in a wave two. That is a no-no in the Elliott wave world. So we cannot actually picture here a possible triangle as some type of a wave two and then continuation on the upside. From this perspective, if you analyze, there is a five-wave move on the upside, a pullback, again, a very nice five-wave move here in the wave three, pullback in a wave four, and a five-wave sequence in a wave five, which means that we have to have some type of a corrective sequence. This is all? Maybe this is some type of a 1-2, 1-2, and then we skyrocketed from here. But when you have a 1-2, and also this looks like a three-way move, so it's really, for me, I don't see Solana yet ready to move on the upside. I will still consider this to be more of a sideways consolidation, and I will be patient to wait a little bit more lower levels, some around these levels here, and then I will be ready to jump. If this breaks out, okay, that's fine. I'm not in a rush. Market is always there. There is always another chance it's going to make a five-way move and a correction, and then I will try to put something on. So there is a big advance on the upside. If you consider on this degree, this is just the beginning, okay? So if you consider on this degree, on a higher degree, let me just do it like this. So we are just in a wave B or a second wave pullback, okay? So I will consider this to be some type of a second wave, and it will be very desirable if this correction comes towards the previous wave 4, which is around between 38 and 50% retracement. This is a very small 23%. I know Solana is a very good project, but 23% of retracement in a wave 2, that's very rare, guys. I mean, I don't know, even maybe 1% of the structures you can see one in a couple of years that has such a small correction, okay? So I will not go that Solana is that in that 1% case. I will just look a little bit more sober and consider this to still to be ongoing correction and the pullback. So I hope I have responded to every request. Hit the like button, guys. We need this from you just to lift up the content. I personally think, not because that is me, there is also a few guys also that provides a good content. We should, I think, lift up this type of rather more professional outlook than pump and dump optimism teams in a crypto space. So hit the like button for us, and also visit Trading Analysis if you want to become our members. We also need active members which are keen to learn the Elliott wave and would like to trade more on a swing or investment time frames rather than to be hypnotized with some day trading activity, which usually ends in a catastrophe. I mean, it provides you with a little bit of adrenaline. I've been there in my career, so I can tell you that from an experience. And almost every trader has been there. So if you are interested for a more kind of a sober approach and more of an investment time frame approach, you can consider to be a member of Trading Analysis. So with that, I will leave you. See you next Thursday. Hit the like button, and see you next week, guys. Bye-bye.